Hey, it's so good to have you here. Whether you're listening in from your couch, your car, or maybe you're multitasking while sipping that coffee, you're in exactly the right place. Because today we're going to talk about something every woman has wondered at some point, but maybe hasn't had a safe space to ask. You know that moment when a man is standing a little closer than usual, when his hand brushes yours, or when he finds subtle ways to touch you throughout a conversation? You feel the chemistry, the tension, the something, but your mind is still racing with the question, is he just being friendly or is he really into me? Well, my job today is to decode that for you. Because here's the truth. When a man is truly attracted to you, before he even says the words, his body will say it for him. Through his eyes, his gestures, and especially his touch. But not all touch is created equal. Some touches are polite, some are casual, but there are certain places a man instinctively touches when he's magnetically drawn to you. These are the subtle, sensual, emotionally revealing moments that say, I'm into you, without a single word being spoken. So, if you're tired of wondering where you stand, if you're ready to understand male behavior on a deeper level, and if you're curious about the ways men express physical attraction with emotional weight, this one's for you. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 places a man will touch you when he's genuinely attracted to you. And by the end of this video, you'll be able to recognize the signs, trust your instincts, and feel more confident in reading the unspoken language of attraction. Let's get into it. When a man is attracted to you, truly attracted to you on that instinctive, can't help himself level, there are certain ways he'll express that attraction that bypass words completely. One of the most telling, yet overlooked, is this. He touches your lower back. And that move, it's not random. It's not accidental. It's deeply intentional, even if he doesn't fully realize it himself. The lower back is one of the most emotionally loaded areas a man can touch, especially early on. Why? Because it's personal. It's not the same as a high five, a handshake, or even a casual touch on the arm. The lower back is close. It's intimate. It's a place that requires confidence to reach for and a certain level of emotional chemistry to even attempt. It's not the kind of touch you give to someone you're indifferent about. It's the kind you give when you're pulled in, when you're drawn to someone physically, emotionally, even subconsciously. You'll often see this happen in moments that feel natural but are packed with meaning. He'll guide you through a crowded room and place his hand gently on your back, not to be controlling, but because he wants to feel connected to you while also keeping you close. He may use that gesture to steer you through a door, subtly letting you go first, while still keeping that light, warm contact on you. And the thing is, he doesn't have to touch you to do that. He could easily gesture or use words. But when he reaches for that part of you, it's because on some level he wants that physical closeness. He wants that feeling of being just a little more connected. The beauty of the lower back is that it's respectful and intimate at the same time. It's a place that feels safe, but still incredibly personal. And when a man chooses to touch you there, he's showing you that he's not just attracted to how you look, he's attracted to the energy between you. He wants to be near you. He wants to feel that little current of electricity that only happens when skin touches skin in the most subtle way. That kind of touch doesn't shout, it whispers. And sometimes the whisper says far more than words ever could. Now, here's something important to know. A man who is just being polite won't go there. He might smile, he might compliment you, he might even offer a courteous hand if you're stepping out of a car. But he's not going to rest his hand on the small of your back unless he's feeling that magnetic pull. It's a tell, a very clear tell if you're paying attention. And you should be, because these little signals are how emotionally available, emotionally present men show up. They don't necessarily pour their hearts out in grand speeches right away. Instead, they show it in these micro moments that make your body say, oh, I feel that. So the next time a man places his hand there in a respectful, steady, confident way, don't overthink it, but don't ignore it either. Let yourself register it. Let yourself notice how it makes you feel, because your body knows. That small gesture carries meaning. It's his way of saying, I want to be close to you. I want to connect. And in a world full of people who are afraid to be emotionally present, That moment of closeness is something to pay attention to. Sometimes it's not the kiss or the grand romantic gesture that tells you he's into you. Sometimes it's the way he places his hand on your lower back like you belong beside him and like he hopes you'll stay there. Let's talk about a touch that seems so casual, so harmless, that it often flies right under the radar. But when you really tune into the energy behind it, you realize just how powerful it actually is. I'm talking about the way a man touches your arm or your shoulder when he's attracted to you. On the surface, it can look like nothing, just a playful tap during a joke, a light graze as he passes behind you, or a moment where he rests his hand there while making a point. But trust me, if a man is doing this repeatedly and intentionally, it's not nothing. It's a sign, a real one. You see, men are often socially conditioned to keep physical affection in check, especially early on. So when they're interested and trying to build connection, they look for safe zones to create that contact. The arm and the shoulder, they're perfect. They're public, they're socially acceptable, and they're low risk, but still intimate enough to send a message. And the message he's sending, whether he realizes it consciously or not, is, I want to be near you. I want to interact with you physically in a way that feels comfortable, but still makes you feel special. Let's say he's laughing at something you said, and he instinctively reaches out and taps your arm. That's not just a reaction to a joke. That's his body's way of finding a reason to connect. Or maybe you're walking side by side, and he lightly places his hand on your shoulder to get your attention or steady you as you move through a crowd. These aren't just practical gestures, they're about closeness. They're about subtly bridging the space between you without rushing or overstepping. And here's what makes this type of touch so interesting. It tends to evolve. If a man is into you and continues to feel safe and connected around you, those shoulder and arm touches will start to linger just a little longer. The playful bump during a conversation turns into a hand that stays for an extra beat. The quick tap becomes a slow caress on the outside of your arm. It's not pushy, it's not overtly sexual, but it is deliberate, and you can feel that difference. You feel the energy. That's your cue that something deeper is happening. Now, some women wonder, but what if he's just a touchy person? Fair question. Yes, there are people who are naturally affectionate. But here's how you know when it means more. It's the frequency, the timing, and the intention. If he's consistently finding excuses to touch you, and not necessarily everyone else in the room, that's attraction. If his touch shows up in moments of closeness, flirtation, or heightened emotion, that's interest. And if it makes you feel seen, chosen, and pulled in, that's chemistry. Don't underestimate how telling this kind of contact can be. Because when a man is attracted to you, but still in that space of testing the waters, the arm and shoulder become his safe way to say, I want to touch you. I want to break the wall of formality. I want to know how it feels to be physically connected, even if it's just for a moment. So if he's touching your arm, your shoulder, finding reasons to graze your skin or playfully initiate that light contact, don't brush it off. And more importantly, notice how it makes you feel. If it sparks something in you, if you feel that little jolt of energy or that subtle rush of emotion, pay attention, because that's your body picking up what his body is putting down. Attraction doesn't always start with a grand gesture. Sometimes it starts with something as small as a brush on your shoulder and the feeling that lingers long after it's gone. There's something incredibly powerful, almost sacred, about a man choosing to touch your hands. It's one of those gestures that can feel deceptively simple, but don't let that simplicity fool you. When a man is genuinely attracted to you, the way he interacts with your hands can reveal a level of affection, tenderness, and desire for closeness that speaks volumes. Think about it. Our hands are how we connect with the world. They're tools, they're expressive, they're personal. And because of that, they carry so much meaning when someone else touches them. A touch on the hand isn't just about physicality, it's about emotion. It's about slowing things down. It's about being present with someone. When a man reaches for your hand, even casually, whether it's to help you out of a car, guide you across the street, or hold it during a quiet moment, it's one of the clearest signals that he wants a deeper connection, because the hand is not a place he needs to touch, it's a place he wants to. Unlike touching your arm or back, which can sometimes be brushed off as practical or accidental, touching your hands is an intentional move. And usually it's a move that's charged with something deeper, something that's both emotional and romantic. Pay attention to how he does it. If he lingers a little longer when your fingers touch, if he playfully traces his hand along yours or squeezes your hand during a laugh, if he holds your hand while walking, not just interlocking fingers, but gripping you in a way that says, I don't want to let go. That's not just affection, that's vulnerability. Because when a man reaches for your hand, he's not just trying to be close, he's opening himself up. He's saying, I trust you with this part of me. And if a man kisses your hand, that's a whole other level. It's not just flirtation, it's out of reverence. It's an old school, deeply romantic gesture that says, I see you as someone special. I want to treat you with care. Not every man does it, and not every moment calls for it. But when it happens genuinely, it can be one of the most sincere forms of affection a man expresses. It's subtle, yet deeply intimate. Even in playful situations, like when he grabs your hand during a joke or spins you around while dancing, he's still choosing your hand as his point of contact. That says something. It means he's seeking connection, but he's also paying attention to how you respond. Holding hands is one of the most emotionally mutual forms of touch. It's not just something one person gives and the other receives. It's shared. And that shared space, that shared energy creates intimacy fast. There's also something incredibly grounding about hand holding. It can calm nerves. It can deepen attraction. It can make two people feel like they're in their own little world, even in a crowded room. That's why you'll often see couples reach for each other's hands during moments of uncertainty or excitement. It's a quiet anchor, a signal of we're in this together. And when a man reaches for your hand out of nowhere, just to feel you, just to be close, it's often because he's feeling that emotional pull and doesn't want to lose it. So don't underestimate this one. The way a man holds, touches, or interacts with your hands says more than you might think. In many cases, it's his way of saying, I want more than just surface level connection. I want closeness. I want intimacy. I want to feel you, and I want you to feel me too. Because sometimes the most honest moments of attraction come not from what a man says, but from the way he gently takes your hand and hopes you'll hold his right back. If you really want to know how a man feels about you, whether he's truly attracted, whether there's something more than surface level interest, watch how he touches your face or your hair. Because these are not the kinds of gestures a man uses casually. They're not throwaway moves. They're deeply intentional and almost always emotionally loaded. The face is the most personal, most vulnerable part of a person's body. It's where we express emotion. It's how we make eye contact. It's how we show joy, nervousness, affection, desire, all without saying a word. So when a man reaches to touch your face, even gently, whether it's brushing something from your cheek, tucking your hair behind your ear, or cradling your jaw during a kiss, it's not just romantic. It's a kind of emotional exposure. He's stepping into your space and saying, I'm here, I see you, and I want to be close to you, not just physically, but emotionally. That kind of touch doesn't happen unless something real is going on underneath the surface. And it's worth noting, a man doesn't usually touch a woman's face unless he feels emotionally connected. It's not the same as placing a hand on your back or brushing your arm during conversation. Those can be flirty or playful, but the face, that's different. That kind of contact is tender, it's intimate. It requires both trust and vulnerability, and it almost always signals that he's feeling something deeper. And then there's the hair. Now, hair is fascinating because it walks the line between sensuality and comfort. It's an incredibly intimate part of your body, but socially it's not always treated that way. So when a man reaches out to run his fingers through your hair, or lightly touches it while you're talking, or tucks it behind your ear to see your face better, what he's really doing is expressing affection and desire in a very subtle, emotionally driven way. He wants to connect. He wants to engage with the part of you that feels soft, delicate, personal. And again, it's not something he has to do. He chooses to do it. That choice matters. Sometimes you'll notice this type of touch happening during quiet moments. Maybe you're sitting close, laughing at something, and he absentmindedly strokes your hair or lets his hand rest against your cheek while you talk. That's not him trying to make a move. That's him being in the moment with you, fully present, fully connected. It's an act of intimacy, not performance. Or maybe it's in a moment of emotional connection when you're talking about something vulnerable, or he's watching you smile and gets caught up in the way you look. He might reach out without thinking and touch your face softly just to feel closer. Those moments, they're everything, because they're raw, they're real. They're not about impressing you, they're about feeling you. And here's something beautiful. These kinds of touches are not about possession. They're not about dominance, they're about appreciation. When a man is truly attracted to you, when he's feeling a mix of physical chemistry and emotional connection, he'll find ways to reach out and express that through gestures that feel almost instinctive. Like he can't help but touch your face when you laugh. Like he's drawn to your hair because it's part of your essence. He's showing that he's not just into you, he's enchanted by you. So if a man is reaching for your face or your hair in these kinds of moments, let yourself feel it. Because those are the touches that speak what words often can't. They say, I'm captivated by you. And when a man feels that way, he doesn't need to announce it. You'll feel it in the way his fingers linger, in the softness of his touch, in the way time seems to pause just for that second longer. That's not just attraction, that's connection. Let's talk about one of the most telling, yet often misunderstood ways a man might touch you when he's attracted to you: your thigh or your knee. Now, right away, this might raise some eyebrows because unlike the hand or the shoulder, this kind of touch feels a little more intimate, a little bolder. But when done in the right way and for the right reasons, it can say so much about how a man feels about you, both physically and emotionally. Here's the truth. When a man places his hand on your thigh or gently rests it on your knee during a shared moment, he's stepping into a deeper level of connection. This is not a gesture he makes casually. It's intentional. It's grounded. And when done with respect, it's deeply telling. Why? Because the thigh and the knee are more vulnerable parts of the body. They're not places you invite just anyone to touch. So if he goes there and does it slowly, attentively, without any pressure, it often means he's attuned to the emotional energy between you. He's not just reacting to a physical impulse, he's responding to you. This kind of touch usually happens when there's already chemistry building. Maybe you're sitting close on the couch, having a deeper conversation, or laughing in a quiet corner of a restaurant. He's not reaching out to make a move, he's reaching out to connect. And the choice of touching your thigh or knee, instead of, say, your lower back or waist, can actually be more vulnerable because it's not performative, it's not for show, it's for closeness. The man who's truly attracted to you doesn't reach for your thigh to take control. He does it to create closeness, to break that invisible wall of distance and to feel the comfort of being near you. It's his way of saying, I'm here. I feel this energy between us. I want you to feel it too. And what's beautiful about this kind of touch is that it's often done quietly, without a big build-up, without drawing attention. It's subtle, and because of that, it often feels sincere. He might lightly place his hand there during a shared laugh, or absent-mindedly rest it on your knee while you're telling a story. There's no pressure, just presence. And it's in that stillness, where nothing needs to be said out loud, that something powerful is communicated. A kind of closeness that says, I'm not just here for fun. I feel safe with you. And I want you to feel safe with me too. Now, of course, context matters. This gesture has to be earned through emotional connection, not rushed into. A respectful man doesn't just touch your thigh or knee out of nowhere. He feels the moment, senses your energy, and moves at your pace. When he does it right, it doesn't feel invasive. It feels natural, like the next step in a slowly building closeness. And you'll feel that difference instantly. You'll know if it comes from attraction backed by respect or if it's just